Unseenema! Welcome, everybody, to the Unseenema podcast. My name is Sharky. I'm joined here by my friend Sol.
Yo, yo, yo.
That's Sol. And Minky, who's got a mouthful of sausage.
I have a mouthful of sausage.
Right now, not always.
No, usually on weekends.
I've picked a wonderful movie for these two gentlemen to watch, blindfolded, and I would love to find out what they thought about it, what they thought they were seeing, and to have a guess at, what was happening on screen. Before that, we need to talk about where we got the idea from, and I think Minky can talk about it better.
So the idea spawned from, I just recently discovered Tommy Edison on YouTube, and he calls himself the blind film critic. He's been blind from birth. But he loves films, and he loves going to see films and then reviewing films on his YouTube channel.
Better than anything we're going to do here.
Most probably.
Can we just throw in an addendum that we're not at all trying to mock anyone?
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, with what we're doing.
No, it was more of an idea. The idea spawned from finding it fascinating when I was watching his reviews, how much of the film he had grasped simply from listening to it rather than seeing it.
Yeah, impressive, very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive, especially as most of the time he goes to the theatre to watch it, and in that atmosphere it must be very very different to watch a film to how we usually watch film.
Yeah.
Sol and I have known each other for a long time, and we're both heavily into film, and so for us it was a very interesting idea to watch a film blindfolded and try and experience not necessarily what he experiences, but try and understand a film in a completely different way that we're used to.
We've explained the premise of the podcast.
I do believe we have so. So yes, Sol and I watched A View to a Kill.
That's true.
Blindfolded.
A View to a Kill, the final James Bond starring Roger Moore.
Indeed.
In the.
And as you are very familiar with the film,
yes,
we thought it'd be a great idea if you hosted it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what our impressions and
how much of it we got right.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the film, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is the thing we should do.
What do you guys think the title comes from? I want to talk about the title first because it literally is A View to a Kill, and you guys, it's referenced in the film, and you guys have no idea what that is.
Now
a
this is
reference
interesting. This could get very in depth very quickly.
I have a
love
guess.
You have a guess? You want to
Yes.
go first with your guess?
Soul's gonna have a guess.
Okay.
We'll see how close it is to my guess.
I think the title comes from Christopher Walken, who, by the way, is very obvious in this film.
Phenomenal.
Christopher
Yes,
Walken's
yes.
in this film, everyone.
Yes, and you can tell as soon as he comes in.
Wow.
Hello. I think it comes from him pushing somebody off of an oil rig into water and then seeing it, but I have no basis for
You
that.
think that's the scene where it's referenced?
So this is the thing. Sol had made the connection with a tower and water to an oil rig. I simply hadn't. To me, the two things were separate but the same in my mind. There was water, so it must be a boat. It's very high up, so it must be a tower. So I had imagined a big cruise liner.
Right.
I know
okay.
that's wrong.
Well, no, that might be right. We don't
I
know.
doubt it.
The scene is we're going to get to that scene later. I just wanted to basically simulate for our listeners how difficult it is to be watching, this film, not knowing what's going on.
Probably not a good film to start with.
Definitely not a lot of exposition or descriptive dialogue.
Can we just say, and
Yep,
I'd like to point
I
out,
agree.
they did not write this film for the blind.
No, they did not.
There are at least several scenes in which 20 minutes are intense, no music, just people walking around, and you're supposed to be, gnawing on your fucking fingernails.
Yeah.
And there we are going, can someone just say a line so we know who's walking around?
Please
we know
help us.
someone is walking around,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be is he doing something bad? We don't know.
No idea.
Where is he? Please go through the
Who
door and
is
go,
he?
oh,
Is that-
I'm in the library. Or something like
Just
that,
give us
please.
something to go off on.
Is
in-
that
in
a
it.
grassy step or a rocky step?
Exactly. No, genuinely, several times we would start asking each other questions. What do you think's going on? Where are we? And can I just say, I nailed the bit with the horse tranquilizer, or the bit where he implants the thing into the horse, and you laughed at me. I said, I think he's injecting a horse, and
Yes.
Sol's going, that sounds rather dubious. That turned out to be true.
Judging by what else you thought based on the sounds in all of the scenes.
We'll get to that later.
All right. Well, A View to a Kill, directed by John Glenn. John Glenn, I think it might be his fourth Bond.
Which other ones did he do?
So he came on with Roger Moore. He didn't do Live and Let Die. He came on as an editor, I believe. Wonderful film.
That's
Would be
not that film.
Damn it.
So the budget was, well, I would ask you how much you think the budget was.
That's an interesting question.
But you wouldn't have seen any of the
No, but we know
visuals.
where some of the places are.
Yeah, and we can
because
talk
they
about
say it.
the
At
cast.
the end of the film,
Yeah.
finally we knew that the Eiffel Tower was involved
I'm gonna
right
say
at the end of the film.
I'm gonna say the budget was about $30 million.
Interesting.
See, I'm going to up that. I'm going to say $53 million.
Well, let's.
With inflation.
This is Roger Moore. I would say top of his game, maybe even slightly after the top of his game, but in terms of paychecks, he's getting that top dollar. We have Grace Jones, kind of a big star at the time.
This is the thing. We knew not what any of the women or men looked like. But
Did you not know the cast beforehand as
We
well?
didn't know the cast.
we knew
Interesting.
nothing.
And it was interesting, actually, because this is Roger Moore's last film. I knew roughly what the date was for this film.
Okay.
And when he started speaking, I turned to Sol and said, I think that's Roger Moore, but this seems way too late for Roger Moore, man. Obviously, Christopher Walken was very recognizable.
Christopher
as soon as he came in.
Walken's in here. Young Christopher Walken as well. This is...
Well, you see, I saw him as the old man we know him now.
Okay.
The aspiring gentleman, the suave character that he is. So I
Okay.
saw him as a grey-haired old man.
Okay, you guys have seen Sleepy Hollow, right?
No,
Yeah.
I have not.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
have.
that's the Christopher Walken I imagined.
Okay.
Kind of creepy with big teeth.
That's the Christopher Walken I dream about every night. I haven't slept in 4 years. Wow. This is post Deer Hunter, so it is Christopher Walken becoming a star. And everyone else, Tanya Roberts is in this, who's the one of the ladies.
She
One-
sounded very attractive.
Yeah, she's very attractive.
Oh,
we'll get
well,
to
that's
it.
good to know.
Yeah, you'll get an unveil
Not
of
that that's
these
the
people.
only quality I'm assuming she has, but she did. Her voice had a certain allure.
I have a
Je ne sais
question.
quoi, if you will.
I have a question. How many people did Bond sleep with in this film?
Because we reckon it was about 3.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll get to that. I just wanted to double check on both of your guesses. We've talked about the stars in this film.
Yeah.
And are your guesses on the budget still?
Oh
the
yeah.
same?
So
I'm
what did
sticking
you
to
say,
the 30 million.
53 million, I think I said.
Okay. Soul's absolutely right. 30 million.
Oh, son of a.
Do you think that it broke even?
Oh, that's a really interesting.
That is a
question as
good question.
well. You know what? I reckon with the cast involved,
Mm-hmm.
and Bond's always been quite a big seller. Even when it flops, it's still quite a big seller. I reckon it made a profit.
And let's also talk about they got. I'd say the fifth main cast member in this is the song Duran Duran. Once again, top of their
You know
game.
what's really funny is we mistook Duran Duran for Aha.
I know, yeah, because we spoke on the phone right after you saw the film, and you
Yes.
say, yeah, and it's that corny Aha song, and I was
To
like,
be fair, you know what? Aha and Duran Duran
I
aren't that
don't
far
know.
apart.
Terrible.
I don't know. Whoa.
Excuse me, Aha.
Oh, sorry,
Aha
sorry.
have one of the best songs ever written.
They do.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the next Bond film.
No, not that.
No. Okay. Back to the question at hand.
This isn't a hot podcast now.
Oh, no.
Take pod. me.
I'm taking this back. Okay.
Ooh.
To the amount, I think it made a profit too.
Yeah, I do. I reckon the profit wasn't as much as they were probably hoping,
Okay,
but I reckon it made a profit.
I'd say it's about 20 million.
20 million profit. So
We'll say it's a gross 53 million, just so my number is correct at some point during this entire podcast.
okay. Well,
yeah, sure. Okay, fine. I
It-
think it's around about that.
in that case, I think Minky's correct, but 152.4 million.
Are you serious?
152.4 million. Damn.
There was a 50 in there somewhere.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
yeah.
That is-
You're 100 million off, but yeah, you're basically correct.
Do not let me be the accountant in any project we ever do.
But if we're gonna put ourselves in the shoes of a 1985 audience, and based off, we don't know what the plot
I'd
is.
be
we don't know
driving a
anything.
BMW. For a
Interesting. Yeah. Well, what are you listening to?
start. What, in the BMW?
Sure. Yeah.
Duran Duran.
Excellent. Exactly. No, but that's what you would be listening to. Talking to my parents, who were crazy about.
They were alive in 1985.
They were. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Before I killed them. dark.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Now they're alive somewhere. But you see why this movie would have been a draw. 150.
Well, as I said, like, good cast.
It's before.
As you say, Duran Duran almost part of the cast.
Yeah. For me, right? I love it. It's
the
corny.
music?
Yeah.
We have problems with it, me and him,
Okay,
based
actually-
on the movie.
Okay, so this is actually a very interesting point. The entire score, I feel very sorry for the composer, because the entire score bases its motif around the Duran Duran song. It gets very repetitive when you hear 400 times.
Like, when we know something very important or very cool is happening, every time that song goes...
Or like
I must
a
say, though,
string.
fantastic writing when you've got a building up in flames and you've got the theme. Dance into the fire.
That's another thing, though, about this film. Or it's more an issue.
More like that.
There's another theme that goes like...
Yes, yeah, that bit.
Which is... I love it.
Oh, you love it. Well, you know what? I probably would have loved it had it not been shoehorned down my throat.
No, it's the fact that we were just listening to it.
I think
and
so.
we picked it up every time. If we were watching it, I doubt we would have noticed it
Most
as much.
probably, yeah.
I think especially because I would classify this as a classic Bond film. Roger Moore for me is kind of like the silver age of Bond, because the last
was aged, like, it's silver aged.
yeah,
It's
he's
probably a
the
way
same
of-
age as Silver. Yeah, he's very old in this film. He himself said so. He wanted
millions of years old.
Roger Moore. You always knew what you were getting into. His Live and Let Die was one of the most serious, maybe
Live and let die.
yeah,
Every time you say that, I'm gonna have to do that.
that you have to, and I understand. But a very serious film. But even then, he was bringing like this kind of like shticky camp comedy there. And the joke was always that he's a very handsome man, which is what Bond is sort of in the books, but it's not really dwelled on. He's a playboy, but in the Roger Moore Bonds, and this doesn't stop regardless of how old he gets. The premise is he is in a room.
He's a sex god.
There is nobody that he can't get, and as you said, you were
It sounded
talking
about 3 or 4 different women in
It's
the film.
4 different women I've counted.
Oh,
Whoa.
snap. Really?
Yeah. At the beginning.
Man, you can learn a thing or two from Roger Moore.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't think that his tactics are incredibly successful in real life. But you didn't see it, right? When you're watching it, I at least get the experience, especially in his final romance with Tanya Roberts, who's the woman in the burning building. I'm assuming you've... Yeah,
We got that.
Yeah. He's older than her mother. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that became a joke on set. And especially for him, that was...
Don't be hating.
No, yeah, but he himself actually, I've read, that he wanted to leave the franchise. He was saying he's too old during Octopussy, the film before that. And then he was with...
Which was a great film.
I enjoy it. But that's another classic. Yeah, it's relatively slow-paced. There's no huge brutality in a Roger Moore Bond film.
It's not exactly a Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Well,
the thing is, there's
They're
also...
opposite ends of the spectrum, I'd say,
Yeah.
as far as Bond goes.
Yeah. Daniel Craig is a lot less successful with the ladies as well. Not real-life Daniel Craig. I love real-life Daniel Craig. I would like him to adopt me if he's listening.
I think that can be arranged.
Yeah. I think a 23-year-old... what should I call myself?
Shark.
Shark. Yeah. I'm part shark.
You're not part shark, you're full shark. Don't be embarrassed.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Own it, bro.
I appreciate it, man. But he's very tortured and great performance of someone who's of the age that we're
Withered.
living in. Yeah. World weary.
Yes, weary is probably a better word.
Roger Moore completely celebrating.
Sprightly.
Yeah, everything that the world throws at him, any adventure, he embraces it fully. And in the opening of the film, you didn't see this. Can we get it on the screen?
We can do. I'll get that on the screen. Can we just say though that
Before we see it, I
the
think we should
opening- the-
comment on it.
the opening 20 minutes of the film
No dialogue.
Very confusing for someone who can't actually see.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about. So the movie opens, and what do you think happens while we're loading this?
This entire film sounded like Bond was being chased by a lot of saw blades.
It wasn't saw blades.
It sounded like a lot of saw blades, Vroom, vroom, especially during when he's getting chased when he's on a horse.
Okay.
That sounded like a horse being chased by saw blades. A lot of saw blades with Christopher Walken just going in the background. It was interesting.
So, I don't think there's any saw blades in the film.
I told you.
I'm very disappointed.
Okay. There might be. I don't think I've picked up on anything.
I saw the poster with a big saw blade behind Christopher Walken's head, almost like a halo. And then, you got Bond at the front there with tiny little saw blades kind of coming out of him like sparks. It was a very exciting Bond film going on in my head.
Have you heard of the movie franchise Saw?
Yes.
I have.
Okay.
That sounds less exciting.
I was going to say, I think you're really going to dig that. The walking chainsaw
Right, what
massacre.
scene would you like me to... The opening scene?
Yes.
Where do you think it was first, Etienne?
That's what I was going to ask you. Where do you think it's set?
I think there's skiing involved. Just based on the number of shh that we heard.
What, did it throw you at all that during the scene that you thought was skiing and you were hearing skis, the Beach Boys started playing, and it was a shitty cover of the Beach Boys.
You know what? It was a little bit off-putting.
Yeah. Did you reconsider?
I didn't pick up on the Beach Boys.
I did, but beach and skiing. It could have been water skiing.
It's true. It could have
With
been.
hula girls going on in the background.
No,
Now we're in Hawaii.
no.
A very French Hawaii.
It was. It could have been the Alps. No, they were Russians.
Well, there were Russians involved,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. Now you're watching the opening of A View to a Kill for the very first time after listening to it and having your minds blown by the sounds of the 1985.
20 minutes of not knowing what is happening.
A lot of shh, and that's about it.
Let it roll.
Oh, there he is.
Slow walk.
At least it is him, not like the Sean Connery ones.
Yeah, the first three Connerys are not Sean
Is
Connery.
it just the first three?
Yeah, I think he
The
re-recorded
fedora
it later.
puts, kind of puts that into it. Okay, so we got the helicopter, I must say.
And you got the water just then as well.
Oh, look, there is water.
Mhm.
I did say there was water at some point.
There's the Russian.
Uh-huh.
We did pick up on that. I must say, if you don't pick up on that, then you're not listening very well.
Yeah. I like that the only dialogue introduction.
What? There was the first shh. And there was the second one. It's a lot of shh
Yeah.
going on.
They saw you.
This is very interesting to the listeners. I'm watching you guys kind of experience this with such fascination.
Wait. Was that saw blade just the snow speeder the entire time?
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe that was the saw blade.
I'm
Now you
betting
see,
it was.
a frozen dead body is something you cannot hear.
No. This you cannot hear.
No.
Oh, a microchip.
Yeah.
Oh, that might put the latter half of the film into more perspective.
That probably makes a lot more sense.
Now this,
You
we
can hear
did
gunshots.
hear guns.
This music, I love this music. Very tense, very brassy, very very nice, and I wish it continued all the way through the chase. Because also, sort of the time, right? It has.
Can I just say that is some amazing skiing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
god damn. Even
Not
by
him,
the Russian.
I mean, the Russian fell over, but
Yeah, but still.
I mean, Roger
Oh,
Moore was a
and
good
he fell
skier.
over.
Okay, I will say I don't want to break your heart.
It's not Roger
Don't
Moore.
break my heart. He's skiing with 1 foot now. This
He
gotta
is,
be
isn't
Roger
he?
Moore.
It has to be. 57-year-old Roger Moore.
You're never too young
Yeah.
or too old.
This was shot in Iceland, I believe.
What was it?
Damn.
Yeah. Roger Moore never went to Iceland,
Oh,
which is why
right.
you'll see every time his face is featured on the screen. It's a close up to him putting up his hood, and
How was he doing this?
This is amazing. That might be the saw blade I was hearing the whole time. Oh
Yeah.
wow!
yeah, this is
Now
Roger
that-
Moore
At his finest.
navigating down the hills of what's supposed to be
Not how
Siberia.
you take off his skin.
Can do though.
And yeah, he's escaping from Russian soldiers on, firing at him from a helicopter and skiing at him. And yeah, now
Oh,
there we go. This is
Shall I load the second half?
yeah. This was the very opening of the film, and we're gonna get to a troublesome part where Roger Moore now his skis are off. Needs to find a way to.
And the saw blade's not there anymore.
Yeah,
Well, the sword blade will come back.
yeah. It's not a saw blade.
Okay. No, let's watch.
You're watching this now. You're seeing that there's no saw blade.
And it's a snowball.
So he can board as well. Oh
Yep.
Lord!
There we go. And this
This is where it was a little bit off.
Because it didn't get funnier. Like what's happening isn't funny. It's actually even more tense because they're firing at him with Kalashnikovs. But I Wish They All Could Be California Girls is playing during a scene set in a snowy location with tense skiing and snowboarding and firing. It's definitely not appropriate, I don't think.
I don't know. I'm kind of digging it. Is that a flare?
Well, we're about to find out, but yes, it is a flare. And Roger Moore
wow.
just took down a helicopter full of Russian soldiers with a flare.
You see, audience, how difficult it is to see what's happening on screen when you can't see.
Yeah.
We need an audio commentary, much like Sharky's over here.
Yeah. I'm up for the job. I'll do it. Call up Pinewood Studios.
Now we did get the explosion,
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of explosions in this film.
especially in the opening sequence. I
Yeah.
must say. I did actually think I can't remember whether I'm remembering this correctly at all. But the
That was ridiculous.
the scene with the horse chase. I remember some explosions going off in that as well, which is a little bit perplexing, I must admit.
I thought this was a chalet or something.
Nope.
Oh well, yes. Well, we wouldn't.
You
have
would
got...
think that. Roger Moore is now, I mean, by the sound of it, he's entered a cozy atmosphere after being shot at and chased. And you'd think he'd need to escape
That is
quickly.
a ridiculous submarine.
Yeah, no, he's actually snuck onto a submarine with a very attractive lady, the submarine is disguised as an iceberg. And, yeah, the lady's navigating to safety, while the interior of the...
Changing
It's
into
turning
a
into a
bed.
sex den.
Yeah.
Is
Can
what's
we
going
talk
on.
about how this is basically Babe Station?
Oh, I'm not complaining.
It's a babe marine.
And,
He has some moves, man.
No, all he did was lie down.
yeah,
That's
all
all you have to do.
Well, 57?
this is- so this
I'm
is-
pretty
this
sure
is
that's
when-
all he was insured
See,
to
so
do.
the 80s had it right. You need to do nothing more than just lie down in a cozy submarine,
Well,
and that is your game. These sausages are really good.
yeah, we're eating vegetarian sausages, and I do like them.
Cocktail sausages.
Yeah.
A healthy amount of protein, apparently.
Yeah, guys, you should have some.
Protein.
Protein.
But yeah, now you've been exposed to the quality of filmmaking that this movie...
To be fair,
I'm actually going to refill my whiskey while we're doing
that's alright, do that.
that.
I'll finish my sausage anyway.
But... Those sausages are
Oh, did you just have one? They are really good.
You've seen the first scene of the movie, and you get a sense of the visuals, and I guess maybe a better sense of the dialogue or lack thereof. How do you think this movie was reviewed?
Oh God, you got some good questions, man.
Let's go to Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think this movie got on Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm gonna give this sorry.
Out of
I'm still eating a
100%.
lot. I'm
That's
still
fine.
eating a lot of sausages, man.
That's fine.
I'm gonna give this probably like a 75%.
75%. Interesting.
Simply because it's Roger Moore and Christopher Walken.
Would you have given it that sight unseen?
Unseen, I probably would have given this film maybe 45%.
Interesting. So you think the visuals were a lot more impressive than what you would have met?
What I imagined, sure, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the dialogue left us kind of cold, and the plot didn't seem very fantastic.
Considering what it grossed.
Does anybody want the last sausage?
Nah, you
Go for it.
Considering what it grossed, I'm gonna have to say 60.
60 and 75%. That's our guess.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Around about
yeah.
there.
Well, It's 38% on Rotten Tomatoes.
38%.
Yeah, unless it's gone
That's
up dramatically.
lower than I gave it blind. This film must look terrible.
Yeah.
Well, looked terrible. The first scene looked okay.
The first thing was probably where they blew all their budget.
To be fair, there's some other issues with the rest of the film. And I think we can get onto that if I ask you guys to try and explain the plot of the film now that you know it starts off with the chip situation, and you've heard the rest of it, which has some exposition at least.
Well, I mean, the exposition about 20-25 minutes in.
Mr. Aubergine.
Oh, he was fantastic. He's my favourite character.
Hercule.
Did...
Was that his name? Hercule?
Probably.
Yeah,
it's very
something.
French sounding.
And God, was he French sounding.
Incredibly.
Yeah.
No, the microchips were explained enough through exposition. We got that much. The racehorse stuff did take a little bit of while
the fact
before
that
they explained that.
Mr. Walken himself is a like steroid enhanced, well, not steroid enhanced, but like an enhanced KGB prototype, which went rogue.
Now, I must say, we were, when they first hinted at that, we were jumping up and down and going, I hope that's the case, because that sounds amazing.
Were you picturing
You know what?
swole Christopher Walken
Instantly,
A little
his
bit, yes.
body went
ripping
from,
through his suits?
Instantly, his body went from what we'd
I'm so
imagined
smart.
the sort of present-day Walken.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, it was Arnold Schwarzenegger with present-day Walken's face on it. At least for me, I don't know about you, but all of a sudden, there was, come on, do it, I'm not Christopher Walken. It was great.
It's interesting you say that. If I told you Dolph Lundgren was in this film, would you believe me?
No.
Can you please Google
I'm
A
on
View
the
to a
Google.
Kill Dolph Lundgren?
I will,
Wait,
as
there
soon as
is
I put
no
my
way
video.
he's in this film.
Okay,
Is
let's
he one
find
of-
out.
Oh,
Let's-
Christ.
A young Dolph Lundgren.
Did they Photoshop? No, sorry, not Photoshop. Did they rotoscope just Christopher Walken on his face the entire time?
No, I'm afraid not.
Damn it!
He was going out with Grace Jones at the time.
Huh.
So, here we go. Images. Is,
Oh,
is
oh.
this what I'm looking at?
Oh
Yeah,
my
he's,
god!
He's an extra. And now you get a glimpse of both Dolph Lundgren as an extra in this film, as a KGB man,
And it's the first time we've seen Christopher Walken.
and you see a young Christopher Walken
Oh
being...
shit!
You know
Max
what?
Zorin.
He's pretty good looking.
Yeah, he doesn't look bad, does he?
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
What do you think of his hair?
His hair. Is,
I mean,
it's Trump-esque.
I was about to say that. It does ring certain bells.
Are we going to go with Trump-esque or Trumpian?
Trumpian.
Wow.
He's a champion.
Ooh.
It's Trumpian.
Okay, we'll go with that. I must say, I kind of like look at him. He's got a lot of suave to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't really it doesn't really sort of. Don't click on that picture, man. What is that picture? We've got just naked people in a field. How hot. Anyway, no, as I was saying about our good old Christopher Walken, he's got a lot more suave and he's very sharp looking.
Mhm.
Not what I imagined. I must say, and I did say this at the time, did imagine the suit. So
You did,
it was blue in my mind, but, you know, I'll give myself a little bit of leeway. He's not far off from what I imagined, just younger, I suppose.
I'll
Yeah.
admit I didn't actually think of any clothing when we were watching it.
So you were imagining bollock naked.
Nice.
No. The absence of me thinking about the clothing doesn't mean
Well, you're getting
he
a
was
little-
naked.
You're getting a
This
little
is
bit,
revisionism,
touchy.
man.
Oh no! Don't you get started with revisionism, man. This,
No. When I said I wasn't imagining clothing, I meant in the fact that
So what was he
I wasn't. No, I didn't really have him.
Was he
wearing
like when in the first
I
Sims
didn't
games
really
where they take their clothes off, they go all blurry?
it. No. No, you. No.
No.
Not again.
I was
God,
just,
no.
I was just listening to the voice. I didn't think of his actual appearance at all.
That's
what I
interesting. You
meant.
can abstract it that way.
Yeah, I was. I wasn't create like an actual picture of it. I just trying to
See,
get a
I
feel
could-
for the entire scene.
That's interesting because I couldn't help but do that. So I saw Christopher Walken in a blue suit, and I saw a building on fire. It never was really particularly abstract, which is made it very difficult when you're given nothing but footsteps and matches being lit.
Yes.
I didn't actually.
And saw blades. There were saw
There were
blades
not
in
saw
this
blades.
film.
No
I didn't
saw blades
actually
in this film.
really, except for a few scenes. One being when he came back. No, just
You
before
didn't
the
visualize
fire.
anything when he
no, there's-
what
there's
a
a-
view
there's a-
to a kill.
Yeah, no, and I visualized.
Oh, we'll get to
the
that
oil
scene,
rig.
by the way.
Okay.
We know what you're thinking.
But no, a lot of the time I wasn't visualizing anything.
That's really interesting because
Yeah.
I couldn't help but try and visualize it.
Well, no, because I just went, oh, it's just audio.
I don't know if this is very interesting to our listener,
Singular.
I don't want to be presumptuous.
And it'll probably be you.
Yeah.
Listening back going, the good old days.
Editing this. After you two die in a bizarre gardening accident. We live interesting lives.
It's the Triffids, man. They will come for us.
That's a very good reference. Well done.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you very much.
What do you think the plot is? So
Yes.
can you try and summarize the plot in if you want in 5 bullet points? We know the characters.
Okay,
we know
5 bullet points. I'm going to list them off on my fingers.
Yeah, what
to
we know
avoid
is
getting sidetracked.
we know Roger Moore is James Bond. He's the good guy.
That's not one of my bullet points, man. Otherwise, I'll be here all day.
No, not the bullet points. This is what we know
All right, I'm
right
just
now.
don't cheat my bullet points.
I'm not
man.
taking your bullet points away.
Okay, cool.
I'm not the Gestapo of bullet points.
Oh man, you can't say that.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not.
You can.
Okay.
Yeah. So, based on the hero, the villain, and the...
Are we each getting this, or is this a...
Yes, you're each getting
so
one.
These are my... I'm summarizing the plots.
Yes.
Right. Microchips. What MI6 are interested in.
Mm-hmm.
This leads Bond to meet Christopher Walken, because Christopher Walken is some kind of racehorse mogul.
Max Zorin.
So
He's a French industrialist.
He's just Christopher Walken
so
to us.
can I add 1.5 and just say aubergine? I mean, that's just my 1.5.
Okay.
Number 3.
That's an addendum to the first one.
Yeah, exactly.
Asterisk.
Number 3. This is where it gets a little bit difficult. Somehow horses are being injected with steroids.
Mm-hmm.
And Bond injects a microchip into the horse, I think. Then number 4, the plot point is revealed. Christopher Walken is some kind of mutant.
Max Zorin is revealed as a mutant.
Sorry, yes, I must say Max Zorin, not Christopher Walken. He's a deity.
Yeah.
It's a very big difference.
Oh, we love Walken. We really do.
So Max Zorn is some kind of genetically enhanced human being, the sort of antithesis to a Captain America, made by the Russians.
Interesting.
And then the 5th plot point is Bond foils Zorn's quest for world domination, and at some point Max Zorn throws someone out of a yacht.
But what is the villain's plan, basically? Do you
Take
have...
over the world. It's always Bond's villains are always take over the world somewhere or another.
No.
And
But
this time he's gonna take over the world.
How is he doing it?
I like where your
Without
head's at.
punctuation. No need.
He's taking the grammar
No.
out of people's
Exactly.
books. No, but I think you're touching on an interesting point, because the first few times I saw this film, I enjoyed it, and then upon questioned, what was this movie about?
So even when you can see it, well, let's give Saul his 5 plots.
Yeah. So let's get to Saul, because he seems like he's got a couple of things he needs to say.
Well, now, first, he finds the microchip that the Russians have. These microchips seem to be getting they're made by the West, but the Russians keep getting it, so they're trying to track down what that is.
You've wikied this.
No, I remember it. Max Zorn. Max Zorn is essentially, everybody thought he was just a KGB agent, but he's not.
Wait, you're not listing off your bullet points. Is this number 3?
No, yeah, that is 3.
Okay. I'm just making sure, because I only got 5, and he tried to steal several of them.
Dude, you're getting real antsy about this. What's going on?
You gave me 5, and then you took them away. It's like Sorry, I'll let Saul finish on his 3rd.
Okay, no, I'm actually on the 4th.
Christ almighty.
The 4th is, he essentially goes rogue from the KGB and wants to destroy the main competition to his own manufacturing industries, which is Silicon Valley. So he takes on the San Andreas fault, and he makes number 5. He makes this giant.
A lot more of this.
He makes this essentially. I thought it was a giant drill, and he uses that to. What was it? It was something stupid like drain 2 lakes and make the entire thing blow up, so they create a massive earthquake.
He was trying to flood the San Andreas fault in order to create an earthquake to destroy
Silicon
Valley, and then he was a mogul.
Yeah, he is very close, but I will say one thing he didn't mention is horses. And this movie focuses
I mentioned horses
extensively on horses.
I mentioned horses.
I honestly thought that was just oh, that's what Christopher. It's like a metaphor for his own mutant bit. He's injecting steroids into the horses.
It is, and
But
that's the thing.
Oh, wow,
But that's just a
Christ.
subplot to build the character of Christopher Walken. I don't think it's really an important.
Hang on,
point.
he's
spent
not
so
building
much-
the character Christopher Walken.
So yeah, you're right. Max Zorn.
Come on,
My
can
bad,
you,
my
I mean,
bad.
I know he was good in the film, but you got to differentiate the actor from the part.
It's just a very clever way of making the audience go, oh, the horses are the exact same as this guy. I didn't really factor that as an important point.
So I
How
think
is it not important? James Bond gets chased on the back of a horse with saw blades
That's
going
one
everywhere.
singular scene.
Saw
There's
blades.
no saw
There are
blades.
so many
Okay.
saw blades.
no saw
Okay.
blades.
you're gonna watch this film after the podcast.
Of course I
Uh-huh.
am.
And you're gonna feel like a
And
like
I'm
a-
going to watch the extended
like
cuts.
a damn fool.
Well, I'm going to watch the extended cut.
with commentary from me.
and there will be a lot of saw blades.
But no saw blades.
So-
I shall add the saw blades.
I think Minky, you said something that was dangerously close to what connects the horses with the microchips. You said James Bond puts a microchip in a horse.
Okay, so this is the thing we were saying at the beginning of this podcast. It's very difficult when they have a suspense scene and all you hear are footsteps and there's the slightest eerie music in the background. And for 20 minutes you hear shuffling about, the occasional match being lit.
Yeah.
Just like that, demonstrated by Saul. And then at some point, what sounded
He's
like
lighting the house on fire right now.
dance
Into the fire!
Oh yeah!
And at some point,
We have, by the way, we have 25 minutes before this asphalt burns down, so we need to hurry up.
do we? Okay, all right. At some point, someone.
Or we could put out the fire.
We could put out the fire. Let's
But-
put out the fire. Everybody blow on
If you
three.
say we
No, no,
didn't
no, no,
start the
everybody-
fire. If you say we didn't start the fire.
Everybody blow on 3, and we'll put out the fire. Ready?
You
One,
ate all the sausages.
Mowgli.
I mean,
2.
I want the fire.
Christ almighty, if you don't blow right now, this fire is going to keep on burning.
Oh shit!
Do it. Do it. Oh, what? Drum roll? Is that what you want? Yeah! And the fire is out. That was not worth the wait.
Fire in the booth. Okay. But what I was saying is,
No, anyway, so I heard the injection,
Mhm.
and I knew that a horse had been injected. I assumed Bond had done that. Are you going to tell me I'm incorrect?
Max Zorin did that.
Oh, snap!
The reason that Max Zorin's horses were led to believe are really good at racing is
Is it because the microchip releases testosterone while they're racing, so they get a boost?
yes, it
That's so stupid.
so that's why you can't detect the drugs in them before the race.
That's
But-
super clever.
Okay.
That's super
Oh my god. I'm actually a Zorin guy, I think.
You know what? I think the wrong guy won at the
Yeah,
end.
I think I'm pro Zorin.
Pro Zorn.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
Um,
I'm running in 2020. I'm pro
Zorin for president, guys. Okay, let's talk about. I think this is. Have you guys seen any other Roger Moore James Bond?
Yes, I've seen quite a few. I don't think Soul has, have you?
Not really.
Do you know what he's known for?
Sex.
The eyebrow.
Yeah, both of those things. Yeah.
But you didn't think
mean?
it was Roger Moore for most of it.
I thought it was too late to be Roger Moore. It sounded like Roger Moore, but it was nowhere. 85?
Did you not know that it was Roger Moore?
I knew
He
it was
guessed.
his voice.
He guessed at the beginning, but then he was like, "Oh,
It
it's too
cannot
late."
be. It cannot be. And then
Oh.
I haven't seen any Dalton ones, so I assumed maybe Dalton sounds like Roger Moore.
No, yeah, Dalton is a lot darker, and I quite like Dalton. He's
But
a bit
Dalton was
divisive.
what, like late 80s?
Jack Dalton.
He's right after this film.
So that's why I assumed. I'd never seen a Dalton one, so
Yeah.
I assumed that maybe he's trying to put on a Roger Moore. I did say at the beginning of the film,
Yeah,
it
you did,
sounds
you
like
did.
Roger Moore, but
It's too
cannot
late.
be Roger Moore. I
The-
thought Octopussy was his last one,
Oh, he wanted it to be the last one.
because he was kind of old in that one.
And yeah, and that film was all about him eventually ending up in a cult society full of very attractive ladies. Once again, not objectifying. This is the role that they're cast in. Most of them don't have speaking parts, and it's a lot of bikinis. And that's the idea of the cult. And it was a little uncomfortable because he's a man in his mid-50s.
I thought he was in his 60s by Octopussy.
He's 57 in A View
Then
to a
he
Kill.
was definitely not. This isn't a sausage this time. Now it's a nondescript nacho chip in the shape of a triangle.
Yeah. Hey, we're looking for sponsors, so
We are.
look us up, anybody.
Just anybody. We need money.
Can we have a look at how Roger Moore looks in this film?
Okay. Well, how am I going to Google that?
You can Google image it if you want.
Okay. I'm gonna Google him. Is it with nondescript crisps in my mouth?
You don't have to narrate that, though, to be fair.
He likes to.
Yeah.
You sound exactly like
No, I don't sound anything like this.
yes.
He's a good-looking man.
He's definitely not the youngest looking man. He doesn't look. You know what? When
He
you
doesn't look
described
that
him
bad.
earlier,
Yeah.
he sounded older.
Yeah.
Because I have seen Octopussy, and he looks about the same.
Yeah. Roughly,
I mean,
he is.
doesn't look young. He doesn't look young, I must say.
Yeah, but the point is that in this film, you've heard the attitude that women are meant to have towards
Yeah,
him.
he definitely doesn't.
Right. As soon as he is in a room, as soon as he approaches them.
I can understand though if they have daddy issues and they're looking for a mature man to give them the comfort that they so desire.
Christopher Walken is too young.
Exactly. So
When we move to the latter part of the film, that becomes definitely an issue with the Tanya Roberts' character, because definitely the dynamic between them, it feels a little like a paternal relationship.
is it this one right here?
It's when he puts her to bed in her.
But is it this one right here?
Yeah.
Oh.
I must say, we're looking at a picture where they're holding each other.
Yeah.
He
does
does
almost
look a little
her
bit
dad.
like a dad.
Yeah. He also puts her to bed in her childhood bed, and he stays watch over her with a shotgun.
Sounds like a nice thing to do.
It is a nice thing to do, but I never got the chemistry. I never get the chemistry between them of like a sexual chemistry. It's always like a very protective
Paternal chemistry.
A little bit, I'd say.
That's interesting.
And I don't know if that came across in the way that
No.
they had.
Not for me. No.
Okay.
Not at all.
It came across as Roger Moore was. He sounds a lot younger than he looks in this film.
That's also a good point, actually. I mean,
So I was always picturing him like what, 30, maybe late 30s, but still nothing too crazy. It's crazy though. Like you really do not. You don't hear him as that old in this film if you're watching it completely blind.
And it's never suggested, which is what I sometimes have a problem with, because they do start hinting at that sort of thing. He starts off the franchise in his mid-30s. No, actually, no, that's garbage. He starts, I think, in his 40s, because Connery started it at 34 or 35. And Roger Moore is actually a year older. And after Connery had done 4 or 5 films, is when Roger Moore came in, and there was even a film between them, which was George Lazenby. So already in his third and fourth film, they had to start acknowledging that. And For Your Eyes Only, there's a relationship with an ice skater who's it's hinted at that she's much younger, and she's very interested in having a relationship with him. And scene after scene, he turns her down. And For Your Eyes Only, I think it's one of my favorite Bond films. It's a lot more serious. It's probably the most serious.
he was 46 in his first Bond film.
There we go. Which is 10 years older than Connery was.
Maybe it's just a thing. Maybe we just imagine. Maybe
When you hear just a voice,
Well,
you
John
can't
Hurt
really
sounds
tell
his
age.
yeah,
from
but
just a
John
voice.
Hurt sounds his age.
But no, listen to Morgan Freeman. Like now, it would sound
Morgan
this.
Freeman. Have you got a Morgan Freeman?
I do not know.
Why not, bro? You have everybody else.
I think I'm John Malkovich today. Have I got the impression wrong? I think I turned up for the wrong podcast. Listen. Depends entirely on the
You do actually sound like more like Sean Connery on helium.
I'll take it. I have a higher voice than Sean Connery.
Everybody has a higher voice than.
And we're back.
It's no. So it's more of a.
And we're back.
Like that.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
Come
dude.
on.
The name's Sean Connery.
Yeah, that's what he sounds like.
That's what I imagine Willem Dafoe.
Sean Connery.
That's what I imagine Willem Dafoe sounds like when he's just woken up in the morning. Like,
Oh man, I gotta brush my teeth.
What if that's what Willem Dafoe's wife sounds like? What if she wears the pants in that relationship?
Willem,
I'm not dead.
did you check out the trash?
No! I was gonna do it 2 hours ago.
I told you to do it like 4 hours ago.
I don't know what time is. I'm confused.
I'm confused, Brenda.
Go to hell, Monkey Adam.
You are Monkey Adam.
No!
He's married to Cillian Murphy.
If you say so.
Because but you are Monkey Adam.
Yeah, but he doesn't sound like this.
It's true. You sound like Vin Diesel, actually.
In the greatest role he's ever made.
Whoa, guys! Okay?
Yep.
It's cool.
The Iron Giant, the greatest role Vin Diesel has ever been in.
I think...
Iron Giant.
Can we get back to this movie, please?
Yeah.
I mean, we can.
We're gonna cut this.
No, we're not.
We have to cut this. I want to go back to the scene where A View to a Kill, the title of the film, is name-checked.
Oh, no, not this scene.
Oh, please do. I really want to know what's actually
I'm
there.
calling it, it's a really, really big yacht.
It's not a big yacht.
Okay, Minky says big yacht
And saw blades.
and saw blades.
There's no saw blades.
There are saw blades in this goddamn
There
film!
were no
gonna-
saw
you-
blades.
Okay, you're gonna keep pushing that.
Of
So
course I am, because I
I
know
say
I'm right.
oil rig.
now the line when it's name-checked, you guys said that it's walking, right?
It's clearly
It's
walking.
100%,
Like,
150%
without a doubt.
walking.
It's actually only 50% walking. The other 50%
It's an airship.
Wait, it's
is
an
Grace
airship.
Jones. And yeah, a lot of this film takes place on a blimp.
That is not far off from a yacht, and you know it. Ain't no fucking oil rig. It's a yacht in the air.
It's not a yacht.
It's
in
an
the
air yacht.
It's close.
wait.
It's close.
It's an air yacht.
Wait.
But that means that when you were guessing that someone gets thrown off it, into water, or off just an oil rig onto ground,
I said water as well. But
Yeah?
Yes.
this is what happens.
It was like a sky chamber. Holy shit! Oh my god, it's a blimp!
Yep. Somebody got thrown out of a blimp in
Wow.
midair, and Christopher Walken after that says,
So, I'll repeat that. Wow.
"Does anyone else want to drop out?" Flawless.
That was amazing.
No, that was beautiful.
Does anybody else want to drop out?
We were both entirely wrong.
A blimp is an air yacht.
Well,
It is.
I do like the fact though that this, like, a lot of this film,
It's a very tall yacht.
a lot of this film is about
no,
blimps.
no. You're about as wrong as the oil rig.
No.
In the middle of the sea?
A yacht.
Wait, no. What was
No. No. Can I just say a yacht is mobile? An oil rig
Wait,
is
but
not.
what did you say at the very beginning?
That's a
It
fair
was
point.
a yacht inside a building
No.
thrown off into a water.
That's not what I said.
That's what you said.
No.
You can go back if you want.
No. I initially said
Oh.
it sounded like some kind of boat because there was a body of water involved. But then it sounded like he'd thrown someone out of a building, so it must be very tall. So my conclusion was a line cruiser / yacht.
No, that was your
That's
conclusion.
That's close. To,
And
yes.
a line cruiser / yacht is very, very close to a blimp.
Okay, we can
doesn't
argue about
matter.
this a lot, but the point is,
We were both wrong.
It's-
I
yeah.
was half right.
it's
No,
batshit crazy.
I'm sorry.
Wait,
I
no.
would-
How were you half right?
It's mobile.
Oh no.
And if you think about it, a blimp is like a line cruiser but upside down.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The flotation
yeah, sure,
device,
Sure.
like the hull of a ship, is the flotation device of a yacht, right?
Yes, sure.
And then
so
you have the cabin on the top. Now a blimp is like a yacht but upside down because you have the flotation device on the top and the yacht on the bottom.
we were both entirely wrong.
I was half right.
The only thing we were
Okay,
right about
guys-
was somebody being thrown off into water.
I was
Guys,
half right.
do you want to know how this film ends?
We do.
Yes, completely.
Can you have a guess at
I-
how
I
this
imagine-
blimp crazy, horse
Oh, hang on, there are
steroiding,
No,
blimps
you-
involved now.
microchipping, California flooding?
No, I'll say
film
I'll
ends.
say what I thought it ended like from when I just watched the movie. I thought it was still underground. I thought it was underground ever since they went, oh, this is the fault line. I thought it was underground the entire point, and then I thought they were essentially escaping the underground.
Okay.
I envisioned a mine.
Yeah.
And I envisioned them inside the mine as it was blowing up because I envisioned a water reserve that they were trying to leak
Mm-hmm.
inside some kind of mining facility,
I agree.
and then Bond trying to escape that before the water engulfed everything.
I completely
Okay.
agree. That's what
Are
I
you
envisioned
telling
too.
me
It
the
was
entire
a blimp.
sequence was up in the air?
I'm not telling you that.
Oh, you're killing me.
But the blimp does play a part in the end of the movie.
Does it crash into it?
I'm not gonna say.
Because something happens to Walken. I can't remember what it was now.
Something does happen to
He
Walken.
he gets pushed off something.
Oh, no, this is
And
the thing.
he
goes,
No, this is the thing as well. Okay, so this is a good point. When we were watching it, completely blindfolded, at some point, definitely Walken's voice went...
Okay.
He went, oh, that's Walking Dead. And
And
I
I
was
said, oh, wow, that was quick. They killed off Walken very quickly.
I was like, no way. No way.
and then I started doubting myself. And then for the rest of the film, we never heard his voice again.
So, Sol,
is that
did
how
you
he dies?
did you feel like there needed to be more of a comeuppance for the, or more of a fight that the villain had to put up?
All we heard was Walking go, "Ah!" So I was like, no, there's no way the main villain has died.
Right.
Just by being essentially either pushed down a mine is
He
what I
had
thought
no
it was.
catchphase. He had no,
Nothing.
like, rebuttal.
Okay.
He had just died by being
Bond
pushed down a
doesn't
mine
even
or
say
something.
anything.
Must kind of drop out.
Yeah, he just kind of goes.
Pretty good.
It was,
So, you're partially right when we're talking about mining or underground, because can we have a look at the walk-in death scene? But in the meantime, before we get to the very end of the film,
She's very
there's
attractive.
she's also far too young for Roger.
that's what I wanted to
Look
say.
at him.
Okay,
She's
yeah. Oh, shit, the blimp!
Okay.
This is the first time.
I've
This is
never
the first
seen
time
such a
you're-
menacing blimp.
You're
The
seeing.
blimps are blowing my mind in this movie right now.
This is the first time you're seeing two very large parts of this film.
Oh, there's no way he's gonna.
There we go. This is Max Zorin grabbing Tanya Roberts.
Oh yeah, he's.
Oh, dude, he's gonna climb the blimp! What?
By lowering his blimp, grabbing her off the ground, and propelling up. And now James Bond is going to chase after them by...
Those are soul blades! The soul blades are the fucking blimps!
There we go. There we go.
Dude, oh my god!
James Bond is
hadn't-
hanging off the blimp
That you know what?
in a ladder.
That makes so much sense. I had nowhere to
I
place
knew there was some
your
kind
saw
of
blades.
fucking
By the way-
rotary system.
Here
wait,
is our
that-
scenic shot.
Wait, they're at the Golden Gate. Bitch.
Yeah,
I knew they
they
were
are.
in San Francisco.
They
Yeah.
name dropped that.
But
Fake tells us San Francisco.
but I did not know they'd like actually go to the Golden Gate Bridge. Although, yeah. Fair
And
enough.
can we pause it now?
Yeah, of course.
I give you full credit. I had no idea. I was like, no, they're not saw blades, but I cannot place what they actually are. They're the fucking blimp the entire
dude.
time. Well done. You
I
didn't
to-
say blimp.
I
but
told
saw
you.
blades was wrong, but
Can I
that's
just
impressive.
say, I'm now
That's impressive.
three quarters right, because a yacht is basically an upside down blimp,
Okay.
and there were
Interesting
saw
idea.
and there were saw blades, which were the rotary systems that the blimp projects itself through the air.
Well,
I'm now on 3/4, verging on 6/7 right.
Yeah,
on this?
except you know what it
don't
takes to
know
be
if I'd-
completely right? Actually being right.
When would you
Yeah,
ever
it's like-
in
it's
your
like
wild-
digital
no,
or
no, no,
No,
analog.
you're right, you're right.
When-
we would never have gone
in
a
your
blimp.
wildest
sure.
dreams, you would never have said, "I reckon Christopher Walken is on a blimp."
No, I agree.
To
But
be fair,
yeah.
that sounds like something that... Yeah, it sounds about right. I think Christopher Walken is more often on a blimp than on
he
a
is
yacht.
Yes,
What? Christopher Walken probably has like 48 yachts.
And somehow I think he spends more time on a blimp. I don't know why. I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
But no, like 3/4 right? That's still wrong.
What a view. To a kill.
No way. I thought that was Christopher Walken. the
it's
entire
not.
time.
It's 50-50. Grace Jones sets
I-
him up with. Well,
I admit.
you know why though? Because what a view to a kill is not an expression.
No, of course it isn't.
What a view is an expression. So it's
Or what a view to a killing, possibly.
yeah, or a view to kill for or something.
Yeah, I guess.
Pretty good, yeah. What a view to a kill.
kill.
No, and also not relevant to this film. If this film was about like a sniper or something,
Is this one based on a Bond novel?
I don't believe so.
No. After a couple
So
of
do
the
you
first
reckon?
ones.
Do you reckon they got one take? Walken was like,
You think this
"I've
is
had
ad-libbed?
enough of this take. Done. I'm done for the day."
You think the titular scene of
and
this film
and they were
was
like, and Albert Broccoli,
walking
Albert
ad-lib.
Broccoli was like, shit, we're going to have to call the film after that. Otherwise,
see what you're
that
saying.
scene makes no sense.
You think this was a young Christopher Walken
Just
executing like,
ad-libbing? Yeah.
diva-esque power
Yeah.
to rename the film based on
Not
I don't
rename
want to
it. By
learn
that
this
point,
script.
it was only a working title of Bond number 37 or whatever it was by that point.
Ooh, definitely not 37. It's only been 24 so far.
It felt like 37.
Yeah, it was very long.
And all of a sudden, after a long day of shooting, this is the last scene they ever shot in the film.
Oh,
And Walken has had enough. I mean, he's been, they've been shooting this
You're
for like
picturing him
18
disgruntled.
months.
He's
18
angry.
months they've been shooting this. They told
long
me
shit.
it would only be 12 months, and now I have to look at another script again. I'm gonna ad-lib.
I want to reduce the pages
That's
on the
it.
script.
I'm going to ad-lib, and on the last shot of the day, he suddenly went, she said her line, and Walken's like, I'm having none of this, man. So it's like, wow, what a view to a kill.
Okay.
That's it. I'm done. I'm
Cutscene.
done.
Okay.
That's
Done.
it.
Wrap
I'm,
up.
I'm not doing any more.
So,
So they had to rename the entire film.
in your mind, were they unhappy with this, or did they go, he nailed it?
In all fairness, you can't really be unhappy with anything Walken does.
Okay. What if he killed a baby?
If you're being
Having said that,
flippant,
Albert Broccoli probably had a different title in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like Bond at the races,
Okay.
or there's a fly in my soup.
Would you say Bond does L.A. is good?
It's not.
Well, no, it's not
that,
really
San
LA.
Fran, really.
The secret Bond girls of San
Oakland.
Francisco?
Or is
no,
it like?
no. Bond does Oakland.
Yeah.
Or is it like San Fran away?
Or
Yeah.
the San Andreas fault, maybe.
Or whose fault is it anyway?
Oh,
Oh,
You see? But then
Yeah.
Albert Broccoli had to make a decision.
Yeah.
He had to make a decision, and he was like, shit. We've got this one. It was supposed to be the catchphrase, and Walken fucked it. So what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to. If you don't call the film A View to a Kill, that line would be out of place. But now that
it's
we've
the
retitled.
perfect line.
We've retitled the film. People are going to say, wow, what a view to a kill. For decades.
yeah.
I think this is a good way to end the podcast, actually.
I think it's wonderful.
Well, that's
so,
it. That's-
guys, any last thoughts about this film?
If
I
you're gonna
wish-
include blimps, Zeppelins, please God mention it by some form of dialogue, or else we have no idea what you're.
Also, if you're going to light a lot of matches, please make sure that they at least announce that they aren't matches. They are reloading guns.
If you're gonna,
And I think my final point for the entire
It's not about- I
podcast
don't want it to be that sauce.
is-
I don't want it to be that sauce. I really don't
the
want it
saw
to be.
blade looks a lot like a propeller.
it
man.
does not.
oh.
Oh God!
It does.
Oh my God!
Well, we're going to be talking about this
killing me.
until the next time we shoot an episode or record an
Look,
episode.
if you stick your hand into a saw blade that's rotating, it will chop your hand off. If you
Okay.
do the same with a propeller, what happens?
There's a difference in how it looks.
No, there isn't. It's like the Toblerones, right? There may be a slightly bigger gap. It's still a Toblerone. There may be a slightly bigger gap between the propeller's blades, which have blades, and a saw blade's blades.
No, just because the words are the same.
They
don't
make the
mean
same
they look
noise.
the
They
same.
make the same noise.
You're
They go
so
vroom,
wrong.
vroom, vroom,
Oh my
vroom, vroom,
God.
vroom, 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 vroom. They make the same
You
noise.
are so wrong. It's
They
incredible.
make the same noise.
Everyone, thank you very much for listening. This was...
Big shout out to Tommy Edison. Without him, this podcast idea wouldn't have happened. It's definitely opened my eyes to the fact that he watches a completely different world. You know what? I'd recommend it. If anybody wants to watch a film they haven't seen, definitely pick a film you haven't seen.
Yeah,
because
For sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the experience is lost. But I reckon, I'd be happy to do this more and more, really.
excellent.
Excellent.
As
Yeah.
I said, it changes the experience in a movie so much.
That's a good word to use. The experience changes completely.
Yeah. I'm going to experience it without whatever the next film is. For the first time, I'll be watching a film completely blindfolded. So,
I'm definitely gonna pick a good one for you. So I guess that's us signing off.
yeah.
Yep. It's been a pleasure listening.
Yeah,
and
guys,
speaking to you guys.
it's been wonderful talking to you, and it's been wonderful getting you to watch one of my favorite James Bond films. Like, not every single one of them isn't my favorite.
Sure, but this one was definitely a good one to start
It's
with.
wonderful. Please watch it, and everyone who's listening,
You know
thank
what?
you.
You know what?
Fucking upside down
They are.
yachts
They
with
are.
saw blades.
But you know what's a
attached.
very, very good name for a band?
What is?
I didn't see those blimps coming.
Oh, yeah! And on
In fact,
that
you know-
note, thank you very much for listening, everyone. And remember, always keep an eye on the blimps.